Hey guys, what's going on? Got to ask a good question earlier this morning. That's literally as I was walking into the warehouse today at work, and one of my coworkers had asked me, "Okay, man, so what you plan on doing here for the future?" And kind of, obviously my answer would have been, I know it would have been over his head. It's obviously since I'm been my own entrepreneur too, but I think I said mentioned something about driving, but the only thing that's about that is that I know somebody who did do the driving, but I guess yeah, they got so many rules and regulations too with that, and they're real strict. I don't blame them too either, because I mean if you're one of the top Fortune 500 companies, especially when it comes to postal services in the world, I understand why they're so strict. But like I said, mentioned um, one of my coworkers got real stressed out, and he came right back in the warehouse. So when my other coworker had asked me that this morning, I was really thinking, in the back of my mind, what I plan on doing. I was like, come on now. My real answer is like leaving UPS because obviously doing a lot of reading of personal development books too, and not to get bash on people that do work for jobs or anything, but it kind of just makes sense when I'm reading those type of books. And for example, Robert Kiyosaki, who I mentioned before, and if you're not gonna go in after as far as trying to be an entrepreneur, it's good that you do have a 401k. Only thing is too, with being in the 21st century too, and medicine and science being better than what it was years ago. The thing is, you really don't know how much money you're going to need when you retire. And I kind of thought about that too, and it does make sense what he had mentioned because, okay, let's give an example. What happens if you had $1 million in your 401k? Uh, can you really be sure that you would last on just that $1 million? Now I know obviously some people would say, oh yeah, I could live with $500,000 or whatever, but people are living longer. That's my point. They're living longer. The medicine's getting better too. So there really isn't a particular number as well. I mean, that's the reason why he's mentioned so many times in his books talking about assets and liabilities. And again, you have to read Rich Dad Poor Dad series of books to understand what I'm talking about because it just makes sense. My thing is to give another example. What happens if I wanted to go back to coaching? Coaching Pop Warner or high school and whatnot. You know, right off the rip, since I'm working kind of long hours right now at work, I would be a bad example to the kids if I was showing up to practices late or whatever. Now, granted, I could leave work earlier too, but I mean, that's a lot of energy and time to spend. Obviously, leaving work, going right over to get ready to start coaching. And it's something when I was thinking about when I was working out earlier this evening, as far as like, man, how much, just think about how much time you would have without having a job. You know, man, I could mention going back to maybe something like coaching, or just doing something else. Maybe going to see somebody, around in the country, just saying, hey, I'm about to go swing by this business person. So, this little stuff like that. Some people I know it kind of goes over their heads, but again, I can understand why Jerome says, you got to walk away from the 97th percentile as far as they're not going to understand where you're coming from, being an entrepreneur. I mean, that's fine, and that's fine. It's not for everybody, but for the ones that are hungry, that want something better, hey, it's just daily disciplines. Reading the books, listen to the audio, and kind of makes sense too with co-founders too of Empower. David Wood had mentioned a few months ago, as far as when you're reading the books, you start to see the separation from the people that you hang around with. Not that they're bad, not that don't like we don't love them or anything. It's just that you just get ready to go find some other people that are just kind of a little bit closer, like-minded. So you know, it's kind of like, okay, going back to what I mentioned, going back to my coworker asked me earlier, is it going up the corporate ladder or is it personal freedom? And kind of obvious that I chose personal freedom. Now, yeah, it hasn't happened right away immediately, but hey, it's the process. That's the main thing too. And obviously, I've heard this a couple of times too, and I read about it as well, whatever happens, whatever company, let's say I was a part of, too, the best thing is just learning the skills. That's the main thing. Let's say if both companies are a part of, let's say all of a sudden, heaven forbid, they just both shut down. Guess what? I mastered the skills so I can go and build something wherever I am, wherever part of the world I'm in. So that's the key thing right there, is just learning those skills. So I'm about to really get ready to dive into some more training as well here. But this is something that's, other than putting on a Facebook post as far as, just my thoughts. I wanted to just go and just speak it out real quick, too. And another thing, too, if you haven't already, check out the link in the bottom. It says Very Secret, or verysecret.andresanders.net, just so you can see. This is an example where I'm coming from, too. I have another product about to launch here in the coming weeks, so just want you to be a part of this. So also give you more in depth as far as where I'm coming from, too. So just something to really take a good eye on as well. So just wanted to bring it up to you guys. I'll talk to you guys later.